Good morning once again, class. So today we start with the Western Plateau. I want you to turn to page number 85 in your geography textbooks. Now when we talk about the Western Plateau, see in the map given over here. The Western Plateau occupies half of Western Australia. So you could see over there how big it is. The average height of the plateau is 300 to 400 meters, and most of it remains a desert or a semi-desert. See children, in your maps you know there are standard colors. So brown or light brown always stands for arid or semi-arid deserts regions. Now in the east it slopes towards the central lowlands. The major ranges of hills are Hamersley Range, McDonald's Range and Musgrave Range. These are the mountain ranges. The Western Plateau is bordered by Barkly Tableland towards northeast, Kimberley Rock, Kimberley, Kimberley Block towards northwest, and the Great Victorian Desert towards its southwest, and Ayers Rock towards its southeast. So all these features are not marked in the physical features given over here. So let us continue. Kimberley is the steep-sided mountain range of northwestern Australia with steep and narrow sandstone and limestone gorges. Commonly known as the Kimberley Block, it is a part of the large West Australian shield rocks. Although none of the mountains reach even 1000 meters of height, there is so much steep land that makes travel and transport across the region difficult, especially during the wet season. So the slope is not gradual over here, it is very steep. Now coming to page number 86. First let us know there is a small tidbit about the Artesian Basin. The Great Artesian Basin is the world's largest and most productive source of confined water in the world. The water is often hot and has high salt content. So this water is confined or contained within the Earth's surface. Now let us see how it all works and how the Great Artesian Basin is important to Australia. An important feature of the plateau, that is the Western Plateau, is the presence of huge monolithic rocks, single cut rocks, huge single rocks. Ayers Rock is one such large rock. The rocks of this plateau are mainly composed of sandstone and limestone. The old rocks of this plateau are rich in minerals like gold. So this is how the Western Plateau or the Ayers Rock or the monolithic rocks are important to the continent of Australia. Now let us talk about the Great Artesian Basin. I hope children you are underlining whatever you see underlined over here. The Artesian Basin is situated mainly in Queensland and New South Wales. It is a major source of groundwater. It is basically a flat area where a well called the Artesian Well is dug. Now the place qualifies for an artesian well only if the ground below is saucer shaped. You know what a saucer shape is? And has a layer of impermeable rocks between two permeable rocks. Impermeable, through which liquid cannot flow. Or simply we'll talk about water over here. Between two permeable, through which water can pass. The impermeable rocks do not allow the water to go through land. It will be land, children. Therefore the water gets collected in the area, that is in the saucer shape area. Right? They have shown a cross section of the Artesian Basin over here and how it works. Okay, so green is the bedrock, orange is the aquifer, then direction of water movement, how the water is permeating or going through it. Then we have the yellow is the impervious material. Now to make the well, ground is dug to reach the groundwater, which is below the low permeable rock. This spurts the water to come up. As there is no way for the water to be absorbed back to the ground, the water flows out of the artesian well like a fountain. The Artesian Basin is excellent for irrigation as the water is pure. If the water in the region is salty, it is used in cattle rearing and not farming. So whether salty or pure, this is how the water is used. Now Coming to the Rift Valley. The Rift Valley of Australia is situated in the southern part of the country. The valley has steep sides and plains in between them and contains the oldest rocks. Remember, children, in class 6 when you learnt about the Great Rift Valley in Australia? So you learnt how a rift valley is, not in Australia and Africa. This is how the rift valley is created, right? Two steep sides, okay, because of some tectonic movement millions of years ago, which creates a depressed land or a land depression in between, and this is how a rift valley is created. Lakes are common here, and these valleys are a source of great tourist attraction. Why lakes are common here? Because the rainwater gets collected as there is depression in the land. Lake Eyre, Lake Frome and Lake Gardner are some of the lakes found here. At some places, dry lakes called playas are also found. Now coming to the coastal plains. The coastal plains of Australia lie to the east of the Great Dividing Range. The plains are highly fertile and receive a good amount of rainfall. Nullarbor Plains are located towards the south of the Western Plateau. Now what I feel is, it is very unfortunate that they have not given detailed maps of all these physical features over here, because had there been we had been going through in the class, then I could have easily shown it to you. Now coming to case study, sheep rearing in Australia. Sheep rearing is an important economic activity where sheep is reared for its fleece and meat. Merino sheep is mainly reared in Australia, which produce the best fleece for wool. New South Wales, Victoria, Western and Southern provinces are the main sheep rearing regions in Australia. So these are the places where sheep rearing is carried out. The best and largest sheep stations are, however, located between the Murray and the Darling rivers. Sheep can survive even in areas with only 20 to 40 centimeters of rainfall per year. The sheep can bear the dry heat of summer and survive on short grass. So these are the two reasons why sheep rearing is very popular in these two regions and is also a success. Now, a sheep farm in Australia is called a sheep station. Sheep stations are large and are divided into a number of fields called paddocks. The sheep stations are managed by paid labourers called jackaroos. The sheep stations are fenced with restrict overgrazing. That restrict so that the sheep do not overgraze. The fleece on the sheep grows thick by the end of winters. It is winter starting in India, whereas in Australia it is summers now. Therefore, the shearing season begins in spring or early summer, which is September to October. So right now they have early summer or onset of summer. About 30% of the world's wool is supplied by Australia. Skilled people are engaged for the work of shearing. They can do the work without hurting the animals. The process of collecting fleece is called mustering. After collection, the fleece is cleaned, sorted, packed and sent to the cities for export. Now this picture over here which you see, you will feel that the animal might be experiencing lot of pain, but it is not the case. Expert people do the mustering. Now with this we come to the end of Australia, the study of Australia continent. In tomorrow's class we will study about location and boundary of Antarctica, the climate and why it is called a white continent, a human void zone. So along with this video, I'll upload the question answers also, so that you can do it whenever you have the time. Please go through the chapter once again, and if there's any confusion, you can ask me again. Thank you.